Hey, what's going on, guys? Derek Smith here doing the podcast for Monday, October 7th, 2019. Quick shout out to the people that helped me out. NatFit, Country Crush, Leo Lion Straps. You can find my buddy started his own strap company, or strap making business. You guys can find him on Facebook. Look up Lion Straps. Shoot him a message and he'll ship you guys out some straps. They're actually really nice straps. I was selling them over there in Mississippi States, helping them get out there a little bit. And they're tubular nylon, so they're like kind of there's basically two straps in one when you tighten up, so it doesn't cut into your skin. It spreads, it widens out, so it doesn't cut, and it tightens because of the tubular nylon. It tightens up really well, and then he singes the edges so it doesn't fray. The buckles are super high quality. So definitely recommend checking out my buddy's straps. Generally, I mean, he has different types of straps. He has straps the same size as Devin's strap coming out. He has some really big ones for other uses. He has D-rings. He has buckles. He has normal straps, normal size 1-inch straps. And I think he sells them. They're $10 right now on average for normal straps. $10 plus you pay for shipping or whatever. So anyway, definitely recommend picking up some straps. If you guys are looking for arm wrestling straps, Lion Straps on Facebook. All right, so done with that. Got home over here, healing up from this past week. Really been looking forward to this podcast thing. I like talking about all this stuff. So still was finished recovering from Mississippi States all week. I was beat up, man. I was definitely beat up from after pulling with all those guys and getting a hold of all those crazy strong dudes. Great weekend, man. I felt so strong. I'm really excited about where I'm going from here as an arm wrestler, if I could talk about myself for a second. And really excited about what's coming up and training and getting a lot stronger. I feel amazing. So going forward, we have out here in Southern California, we have Buena Park, the World Amateur Championships in Buena Park on October 19th. And that's in Buena Park, like I said. After that is in November. There's one in Long Beach. And then after November, Long Beach is January, Los Angeles Fit Expo, which is like generally the biggest tournament on the West Coast. And then after that is Arnold's in March. That's my next one. Like I'm really focusing on is Arnold's. I don't know why. I mean, I'll be at these other tournaments, but it's just I've done the Fit Expo every year since I started, right? It's coming up on how many years am I? Like 9-10 years in. So I've done the Fit Expo a ton of times. So I mean, it's a great tournament. I just don't. It's not my focus, really. It's the same guys I run into every tournament. All the local guys, and so I really have fun traveling up to these big tournaments like the Arnold's and Worlds, and really flying out there and getting a hold of new guys and guys I haven't really arm wrestled yet. So that's a lot of fun. So I'm definitely looking forward to the Arnold's mostly, and this will be my second time at the Arnold's. I got 7th last year. So anyway, that's where I'm focused on, and yeah. Okay, so moving forward, first thing we're going to start over here, we are on Reddit. Let's see. This one is titled Floppy Wrist Help, posted by Yados. Hello, despite I'm right-handed, my left arm is way stronger, and I usually go for top roll as my wrist rarely bends. But on the other hand, literally, my right arm is weaker, and if the opponent is of equal or higher power, sometimes even weaker, I lose my wrist. This happens a lot, and I end up usually going for a flop press. Now, I'd say this method technique I developed kind of naturally helped me in 40 to 50% of the cases, leading to a win. But if I'm overpowered by the opponent, I still end up dragged and pinned down despite in the beginning having an advantage. My question would be, should I train my flop press as I feel comfortable doing it, or should I work more on the wrist so it doesn't bend? Thank you. So it's basically this guy's asking if he should flop wrist and keep pursuing the flop wrist press like Jerry Caderet does, or if he should try to maintain his wrist and move forward, right? So he didn't mention whether he's new. He didn't mention where these matches are going down. These are like tournament matches, or these are like practice matches, or so these are things I would kind of ask first. But since I don't have that information, the flop wrist press is a fantastic inside move. It's a move that you throw your whole body behind it, use your chest, use your triceps, and it's probably well, specifically the flop wrist press is probably the most powerful move in arm wrestling as far as the amount of pressure you can put behind behind a move, right? A press in general or a shoulder roll are the fastest moves in arm wrestling because the travel distance is so small, right? You're immediately in your move right after they say go. So dealing with the speed and the fact that move starts center table is what kind of catches people a lot off guard. So those moves are definitely very powerful and very fast. Now, most people that listen to this are new, right? So a lot of the advice and things I talk about are towards newer arm wrestlers to help you guys get an idea of where I'm coming from. So I recommend training your wrist and not practicing flop wrist press. Now, I understand some people will make a living flop wrist pressing. Jerry Caderet does it a lot. But I feel that when you get into a flop wrist press, you have no options. There's some moves in arm wrestling that are fantastic moves as long as they succeed. But if they don't, your options are limited. If your flop wrist press does not work, kind of one or two things happens there, right? Either a guy pulls you out from you're over your arm, and then a guy has to yank you away from your arm, putting you in a very, very dangerous position, right, of you breaking your arm, and then you have no options. You can't transition into a hook, really. You can't, not in a good one, because by the time you would transition into the hook, you would be completely open. You can't transition into a top roll because your wrist is flat back. So it sticks you into a spot that doesn't lead to any other options, really, any other like very good options. So that's why I'm not a big fan of the flop wrist press. Now it's almost like the low hand top roll kind of does a similar thing in a sense, as far as it doesn't transition into anything. That's why I'm such a big believer in the high hook, because a high hook, as long as you maintain a high wrist, can transition into anything. You can turn a high hook into a low hook. You can turn a high hook into a press if you wanted to. You could turn a high hook into a top roll. So that's why I'm a fan of the high hook. And on the complete other end of the spectrum would be the flop wrist press, which doesn't lead to anything. The way you get beat by a flop wrist, the way you beat someone that flop wrist presses is by, and any kind of press really, is by pulling them away from their shoulder, which is a super dangerous thing for the person that's pressing, right? To get yanked away from your shoulder like that. So I feel that you should definitely, as far as making yourself a more well-rounded arm wrestler and looking into the future, pursue having a stronger wrist and not getting it bent back. I feel like that's a rough road to travel, and I think it would lead to a lot of injuries before you would ever become very significantly like strong at it and successful with it. You would have to go through a long road of injuries and blowing your elbows out and blowing your pecs out and maybe breaking your arm. It'd be like a long, rough road. I feel like maintaining a wrist and a high wrist at that will lead to a lot safer career, but also one that should be substantially longer, so you can stay in the sport. Okay, moving forward after that one. Dennis. This one's posted by Alex by Logic. Dennis, never heard of Denis Saplankov again. Where is he at now? Denis Saplankov got sick. I forget exactly what it was, but was it with his liver? Anyway, he got really sick. I forget exactly the specifics. And he took a bunch of time off. Was in the hospital for a while, and then it was like right before the top 8 was about to start. And then he is staying out in the woods, in the mountains, and hanging out. The last I saw videos of him. That's the last thing I heard, Denis Saplankov. So, who knows, man? Who knows what could have caused it? I mean, I know obviously a lot of people think, people accuse him of using a lot of in performance-enhancing drugs. I'm not going to touch on that because I don't know, right? I haven't heard it from the horse's mouth, and so that's just speculation at this point. He's a giant, crazy buff, crazy-looking dude. But, until he tells me that, I'm not going to try to smear someone's, career without him telling me that. So, but a lot of people think that would have led to him being sick, or it could just be, it could be a number of things that could have led to him being sick. But hopefully he recovers, man. That dude, I've said it time and time again. Denis Saplankov is one of the most, not underrated, not even underrated, but just like unappreciated champions we've had of the sport. I mean, he's amazing. Like the dude's dominance in Europe was insane. The fact that he was able to do what he did to Pushkar for so long, and how in what like dominant fashion he ran Europe and the world is crazy. And people just don't really talk about it as much as they should, I think. And I'm not really sure why. Maybe it's just because we're Americans and we love John Brzenk. So, and then North Americans, so we love Devin. So, I don't know, maybe that's it. Moving forward, from Tube Karcher, does the press require that much tricep strength? I see Devin Larratt with a very strong press. The man has no triceps and seems to never train them. Yet he finishes guys like Todd, Benny, round 5 against Jerry with a press, and it looks very strong. By the time you see Devin press, he has drained the other guy so much that Devin's press is fresh and the other guy is pretty opened up by then and beat up, so they're susceptible to Devin's fresh chest and fresh tricep pushing down on their arm, right? So you got to think in terms of that. At what point is he pressing? Now, on the matches that he seems to press right away, you have to remember tall people have a natural advantage because we're so far over our arm. I say we because I'm 6'8", right? So we can press I can press you on your side of the pin pad, right? So over in your corner of the table, I can still press over there. Kind of like when Devin was trying to press Michael Todd and he was leaning way over the table. So tall guys can really, that's what tall guys have, is we have options. That's one of the biggest benefits of having a long arm. The longer your arm is, the more options you have, right? So I can reach across the table and sink in a hook. I can reach across the table and I can press still, so I have options. I can chase you around if I wanted to and still be in a relatively good position. So does it require that much tricep strength? It definitely is an element, for sure. I'm not going to say it's not, but I would feel that the angles that you hit and how far you get behind your arm is the thing that would determine a mediocre press between a high-end press, right? The ability to get behind your arm. So that would mean like chest and shoulder to suck your arm underneath your body, and then time, really just kind of wait them out a lot, right? But it is a very fast move, and it's definitely the strongest move in arm wrestling. But yeah, so triceps definitely a player, but I wouldn't say it's the main thing. Okay, after that was Devin's video run. It was a really confusing video, Devin, if you ever listened to this. But I think it was talking about Michael Todd, but I'm not exactly sure what he was saying. Just basically like, I'm coming. After that was a post by Redditaris talking about the title is Band/Belt Ranking System for Arm Wrestling. This idea has been floated but usually gets shut down because it's too subjective and it's unclear who would be qualified to award new ranks. Oh man, it's a pretty long post. I propose an objective system that will alleviate those concerns and provide some tangible benefits to the sport as a whole. The basics. You get a new rank whenever you enter a new tier of tournament, amateur, local, pro, state, national, world, and win a match. You must win a match because you shouldn't be able to hunt for a new rank just by paying entry fees. If you win that tier of tournament, you get a stripe on your band. I'll use band or wristband instead of belt. And then he goes over the belts, like white belts, you've pulled in any practice capacity. Yellow belt, you've won an amateur match at a local tournament. Yellow band with a stripe, you have won an amateur tournament. Orange band, you have won a match at a local pro tournament. Orange band with a stripe, you have won a local pro tournament. Blue band, you won a match at a state level pro tournament. Win the tournament to get the stripe on the band. Brown band, you won a match at a national level tournament. Win the tournament to get the stripe. Black band, win a match at a world level tournament. Win it to earn the stripe. Commentators like Gabi use a subjective tier system to compare matches. That tier 2 puller just beat a 3. I think the band system tells a better story. It will motivate new pullers to the sport and will help with tournament entries because people will want to hit that next level. Just wanted to float this idea out there. Any thoughts? So I like the idea of a ranking system and something that gives newer pullers things to strive for and to push for, something that a small step will get them. A lot of times in arm wrestling, the next step is 3 years away. The next step is, you have to make substantial gains. There's big gaps in the sport. So smaller goals like this, I think is good. I like the idea a lot. Wes Bjornsson came out with a belt ranking system just like a martial arts. It's basically this exact same thing, right? For how to rank people. And he wanted to send patches to people that hit certain ranks and stuff, just like a martial arts system. And I was behind it, but the thing is, and why I think that didn't take off yet, I think he's still pushing for it. Is just it's the same thing we always run into, right? Is arm wrestling. It's uniting everybody, getting everybody behind one thing, right? Because say I get my arm wrestling team behind it, I get Alpha Empire, my team from Southern California, I get all of us on that same idea, but no other teams are with it, right? We go to a tournament and nobody else cares about it and stuff like that, and there's no support, and then I'm chasing around all these ideas, but no one else really cares about, and it's just my team and no other teams get behind it. It's just really easy to fall off, right? So it has to be something that like WAL. I don't really like saying this, but it has to be something WAL or a really big league, I feel, would push, because it would get so many people on the same page at the same time. They'd have to roll out a program like that. And like I've been saying, I mean, I really wish WAL would focus on the amateurs more, because that's the people coming up. Give them something to strive for. It's just, you hit a certain spot and you got to wait 3 years before you beat the next guy or so. It just takes that much time to get stronger at arm wrestling. So smaller goals, small goals that lead to your big goal, I think would help people stay in the sport and help the sport to grow. So I like the idea. Hope something like that gets rolled out by in a way where it can be successful. But I definitely like the idea. I always have of a ranking system within the United States for sure. We're just so separated, and so many people are trying to make money off the 1,000 arm wrestlers. It's ridiculous. Okay, moving forward. Posted by Nyursa, the way I wish round 5 would have gone with Todd/Cataret. It's a video of Frode Haugland versus Mike Ciliaris. Frode likes to press the shoulder roll, and he tries to pin Mike Ciliaris, or he pins Mike Ciliaris. It would end up being a 3-0 victory for Frode, but Mike tries to roll out, kind of almost his King's move, basically. He tries to King's move Frode while Frodo's pressing, so kind of like a Todd Cataret thing. But they call the pin, and then Frode says, no, I don't want to win that way, because it was barely a pin. He barely, it was, it might not have been a pin. So Frode says, no, run it back, and then he pins him completely, and then that was it, and then they hug. So I think that's what people are talking about, wishing it ended on a solid pin, and not the way it ended on fouls and stuff. Moving forward after that, HB Bill Doe posted Mike Aiello versus Blake Perry. They had a war last year deep in the bracket. Next year it's in Supermatch format. Can Blake pull it off again and win 2 out of 3? Dude, I've never met Blake Perry. I don't know much about him. So, having said that, I do know Mike Aiello, and I'm really, I got a lot of respect for Mike Aiello for getting out there and really making the rounds. Dude, that guy is at a different tournament lately, like every weekend. He's flying everywhere. He's not backing down from any super matches. If you want to get a hold of Mike Aiello, he's somewhere. I guarantee he's somewhere around you at some point. You can find him. And so, especially for us super heavyweights and the ones trying to break into this top tier in the United States, the fact that Mike is making himself so available, and I said for a while, Mike's kind of the gate holder. He's the one that holds the door of people that want to make it to the elite. If you want to be elite in arm wrestling, especially in the United States, you have to be able to beat Mike Aiello. There's no way around it. That he's the gatekeeper for sure. So just mad respect for Mike for putting himself out there, not being afraid, not hiding, and giving the guys up and coming chances to try to crack into that elite for sure. And so hopefully you get to see Mike in WAL with a main match, not arm wrestling Juji. Everybody likes seeing Mike be a douchebag up there on the stage. I love that dude. So moving forward, Matt Mask posted by NNQ2603. Matt Mask versus Wayne Withers, arm wrestling match at Mississippi State 2019. So I was there for this. This was the super match between Wayne Withers and Matt Mask. First off, I want to say, everybody keeps saying, wow, Matt's losing it. He's losing to random nobodies. Wayne Withers he's the fucking man. So if you guys have not pulled Wayne or got to know him, first off, super nice dude, quiet guy. People call him a gentle giant, which I don't really like that term because I'm a big dude and people say that too. It's kind of annoying. Anyway, super nice guy, crazy strong, right? I think that a few things happened here with this super match. One, the Wayne Withers Matt Mask match was after the Paul Passmore one, but the Matt's, their styles are kind of contradicting to me. I think Wayne Wayne top rolls, right? He has a crazy posting top roll. His posting ability, his hammer curling motion is insane, right? To try to get a hold of that guy is crazy. He has a monsterly huge hand, and so when he starts posting, to hold on to him or to be tied to him is a lot. So since Matt generally likes to low hand, he drops his angle of his index finger knuckle. He drops that. Wayne stays a little bit higher in the setup, I think. And so when they start pulling backwards, Wayne is a big boy, big, strong dude. So Wayne would take the hand of Matt, and Matt just was having trouble holding on. I think Wayne was significantly heavier and came in ready. So I don't know. Don't get me wrong, Matt. I know Matt wasn't feeling it that day. It was a little bit off. He says he was really sparked him to start training harder and stuff like that. But I don't know. All that is whatever. I like seeing these new super heavyweights knocking on the doors and coming up, and Wayne Withers is definitely at the top of that list of people in the United States who are coming up, who are making noise. So it's exciting to see these new guys breaking into that top echelon, and Wayne Withers is definitely one of the guys. And the other guy, Paul Passmore. There's a few, and I'm trying to be in that group. I'm trying really hard. So yeah, I mean, Matt is awesome. Matt is still the man. I'm sure he's going to go back and train up and be a monster next time we see him. But definitely giving credit to Wayne Withers for that win for sure. Okay, so next, moving forward, this is posted by Paracordist. Do-yourself cheap adjustable lever for grip strength, hand and wrist rehabilitation. Paracordist, so I watched your videos. I even went on your YouTube channel and looked around a little bit. I appreciate you posting all the stuff on here that you're doing and trying to show people a do-yourself cheap way to build this stuff. But there's a lot of posts like that, man. There's some stuff like, I feel like you should watch some videos. Definitely go on Facebook, and there's an arm wrestling training group where people post a lot of stuff like that. But yeah, man, there's a lot of do-it-yourself cheap ways to hit a lot of the angles you're hitting, but I feel that they're more effective out there. Definitely check them out. You should definitely watch Voice of Arm Wrestling. That's the Latvian one, right? Yeah, you should definitely watch Voice of Arm Wrestling channel on YouTube and kind of see how they're doing it, and how they're hitting all their angles, right? And maybe you can come up with some new ideas and stuff about how to build some strength in your hand and in your wrist. But I appreciate you posting and staying active on the board. It's just, yeah, I mean, I've seen all these things that you're building, and I've seen them done really well with even like less stuff. So just check that out, man. Next one, posted by MHT KMRAUG. I can't even pronounce it. Travis Bajan about the King's Move. They posted Travis's video where he's referring to the King's Move. Basically, Travis says, I have no problem with it, but if you get pinned, then they should call the pin. So he's talking about if your arm goes completely straight and it's not getting pinned, or they're not calling it, then it's either the elbow pad is too high or the pin pad is too low. So he wants that changed, but he has no problem with the actual move. People fighting in desperation to try to win, he has no problem with that. Okay. This one posted by Monkey Biz. Dad move. Hey y'all, I'm new to arm wrestling and saw everyone getting excited about Devin Larratt's dad move versus Bortolato at WAL 506. Can someone break down the dad move by chance? Thanks. So guys, this move has been around. This move has been around since I got in the sport, and I'm sure well before that. Grabbing someone low on the wrist is a form of like asserting your dominance on the arm wrestling table. It just didn't have a name before. Devin named it Dad Move, or made that name famous. And just like with the King's Move, right? He really pushed the name and made it known, right? So the Dad Move is well known by just grabbing somebody low on their wrist, like below their wrist joint. You grab basically their arm and you hold on to them. When you grab them low like that, they can't move their wrist. So people that have really dominant hands and they're really tricky, but you're way stronger than them, then you grab them by their wrist like that, and that way you take their wrist kind of and their hand kind of out of the equation, and then you just hold on to their wrist. Now, in order to do that, every inch that you move down from someone's fingertips down towards their body, they gain leverage, they gain power. So if you're going to be strong enough to, you're going to have the confidence to grab someone by the low on their wrist like that, then you better be a lot stronger than them. Or they better be really, really tired. One of the two. Right? So Devin just drained out Wagner by the time he grabbed him by the wrist like that. It was too late, and Wagner couldn't do anything about it. and then he pinned him. Now, I guarantee if Devin would have grabbed Wagner like that first round and held him from the very get-go and not slid down like that, Wagner would have pinned his ass. But he tired him out, and so it's just a way to kind of take away their options and stuff. And when someone grabs you like that, I'll give you guys a little tip. Like I said, when someone grabs you low on your wrist like that, then it makes you stronger. It's a really weird feeling, but what you don't want to do is you don't want to try to top roll somebody and do an outside move when someone grabs you by the wrist like that. What you want to do is you want to stand up tight, be safe, get your arm way inside your body, so your elbow kind of by your belly button, and then you want to do some form of an inside move. That's the way to utilize that point of leverage, that because they're giving you a big, they're granting you access to a lot of power by grabbing you low, but by pulling backwards like that, you're using the power a little bit, but it's way better utilized with an inside move. Either a deep hook or a press would if someone grabs you by the wrist, you definitely want to do some form of an inside move. Just my tip. All right, guys, moving forward. This is more about WAL 506 and how to improve the rules. Kind of over the whole 506 conversation, which I'm pretty sure everybody else is from what I've been told. So we'll go past that one. Okay, this is posted by T. Roland. Any international tournaments? Would love to see some collabs between the highly respected EU, Russian, Ukrainian arm wrestlers with versus the WAL regs. Not sure if there's any kind of event lined up, but this would be highly entertaining in my opinion. So I'm assuming T. is pretty new to the sport and to the community. So there's two major leagues right now that everybody talks about, right? There's PAL, which is like, it's Mazurenko, right? A guy named Mazurenko, he's from Poland right now. I think he's originally Ukrainian, I think. Sorry if I am incorrect. But basically, he oversees PAL, Top 8, helps oversee IRPA, IFA. He has like all these different these organizations, but it's all like PAL, Professional Arm Wrestling League type of stuff. They're all under the same like kind of umbrella. And then so he basically at this point runs European arm wrestling, and it is viewed besides in North America, viewed as like the end all be all top level arm wrestling. And it's and so in China and in other countries that are breaking into the arm wrestling scene, they all look up to PAL mostly, right? That's because PAL will go over there and host big events for them and help them run their D1 China tournaments and all this stuff like that. And so he's getting a lot of love internationally. WAL hosts Supermatch Series, which only has like 7 people, and it's only in North America. And they'll invite one person every once in a while from these other countries, right? So it's definitely, they're not as loved amongst the people yet. And they're just completely different rule systems. WAL is mostly geared towards entertainment value. They want all the matches to end on pins. I'm not saying they don't look at any fouls, but I'm saying that it's definitely a looser system where they want to end on pins and not on fouls. They go straight to the ref setting up your grip. There's WAL is all based around just getting the matches done in an entertaining fashion, and PAL matches take forever. That's like really high end world level strict arm wrestling, right? Which is great. I love it. That's what I was raised on. I went to the World Championships. While we're on this topic, the World Championships, World Arm Wrestling Federation, WAF, is basically they call it an amateur tournament because there's no money available. It's basically like the Olympics of arm wrestling, essentially, right? And they hosted it every year for, I don't know how many years it's been going, for a long time. And every country sends a team of representatives to represent their country, and you arm wrestle, right? So, say Brazil can send, you can send 2 people for each weight class and per each arm, right? So they'll send 2 super heavyweights that pull right and left-handed, 2 heavyweights that pull right and left-handed, 2 light heavyweights that pull right and left-handed, and so it goes all the way down. There's like, I forget how many weight classes. There's like somewhere between 10 and 15 weight classes, right and left-handed. Then there's men, women, there's masters, grandmasters. I'm not sure if they still have ultra grandmasters, and still all those weight classes, right and left-handed. Then there's disabled classes, there's youth classes, so it's all different levels, right? But it's basically known throughout the world. It has been since I got in the sport as the I don't know, I don't want to say legitimate, but if you won WAF Worlds, you were the man. You beat the best of every single country in a giant tournament. And I've gone twice now. I've been on Team USA twice, and honestly, there's nothing like it that I've done that I can even explain what it's like to do a WAF tournament. It's amazing. Now, the reason I haven't gone the last 2 years, I was going to go this year. I was planning on going this year, but it's like there's a lot of drama kind of going on. I guess there was a falling out between Mazurenko, who was a big supporter of WAF. He would go there and sell his straps and help, and they treated him good from what I could see. This is all just from my perspective. It looks like they got along well. There was a falling out. I heard a few different stories, but basically Mazurenko helped start something called URPA, URPA, and it's United Rankings of Professional Arm Wrestling, I think is what it is. It was a ranking system, and they were going to start training referees as well. So that way they can have a bunch of tournaments around the world, and you could get ranked on their website. Well, see, and this is where this isn't official. I've heard stories from different people, but that it came down with money and things like that, and WAF didn't want people just making new refs out of nowhere, and especially using their rule system and telling everybody these are WAF this, WAF certified, when WAF had nothing to do with URPA, and so they had a problem. But this is all I have not heard this officially from URPA. They you hear a lot of different things from different sides. But anyway, they had a big falling out, is the moral of the story. And Mazurenko went and said, okay, well, then we're going to separate ourselves from you. WAF said, okay, well, anybody that arm wrestles in your tournaments will not be in good standings and be banned from WAF, basically. Any referees that ref any of your tournaments will be banned. And so WAF started kind of doing a power grab a little bit and telling people what they can't do. And then it started getting rough, because then after that, countries, because each country has a federation, an arm wrestling federation, and they send the team to the WAF, the Amateur Olympics, basically. And eventually the countries started falling off. They said, okay, well, we don't like the way you're doing this, WAF, you're trying to control us too much. We're going to go with Mazurenko. Well, eventually Mazurenko decided to start his own world championships. Or not him, he's just affiliated with these groups. So then they started the International Federation of Arm Wrestling, IFA. Anders Axlow, I probably butchered that name, is the head of it, but it's still under the URPA umbrella, so I just call everything Mazurenko because he has his hands in all of it. So URPA or IFA starts, and now all these countries are joining the IFA. So some countries are leaving WF completely, and they have no presence whatsoever. So I'm pretty sure Sweden is one of the countries where now when you go to WAF, you will not see any Swedish arm wrestlers there. They 100% went to IFA, I believe. And so there's a couple countries that did that. A lot of countries split their federations into two. What I believe happened was Ukraine is one of them, I think, where they made two federations. There was always one federation, but now they have two federations. So one federation goes to WAF, and one federation goes to IFA. So basically, the world scene as far as international arm wrestling is getting split up. It's a weird couple years right now where everybody's kind of falling off and switching, and allegiances are being questioned and things like that. And so it kind of made me not want to go to Worlds, because first off, I want to go to a World Championship like I remember it, where everybody was there. I don't want it to be missing people, right? So I don't know. It kind of made it not sound so fun in my head, and so I'll just sit home and get strong, and we'll see where this goes. And I'm just going to kind of watch it from afar. But yeah, that's kind of what happened right now. So now there's WAF with some countries missing. There's IFA, which doesn't have all the countries yet, but it's still growing. Then there's still Zloty Tour, which is the number one pro tournament in the world normally. That's the one with all the yellow shirts. I'm sure you guys have seen clips. That's just like the baddest individuals arm wrestle at that one. It's in Poland every year. So yeah, there's international tournaments and things. Back to the original post. Yeah, there's international tournaments, and you'll see some of the WAL guys go over there and arm wrestle, and you'll see some guys come into the WAL. Like you'll see Krasimir come over here and arm wrestle. You see Giannis from Latvia. Krasimir is from Bulgaria. So they're slowly WAL is bringing over one by one. But you also got to remember, they kind of they want them to. It's for entertainment, so they want them to speak English. They don't want someone just come over here and dominate either. Someone that's just going to destroy everybody. And I don't think that can happen in our super heavyweights at WAL, but in some of the lighter weight classes, there's some lightweight monsters. And I don't know if they want to bring them over as well, especially if they don't speak English and if they don't have close matches. I don't know, that's just my opinion. So, but yeah, seeing them travel across the pond, which happens sometimes. Devin will go over there sometimes. Dave Chafee will go over there. Todd Hutchings used to go over there all the time. And then, so yeah, if you look around and you dig a little bit, you'll find some matches of the top WAL guys, arm wrestling internationally. Justin Bishop recently went to Moldova. Was that last year, the year before? So I know he's traveled a little bit, and Mike Aiello went as well. And Mike Aiello's done Arm Wars. So yeah, you'll see some of the WAL guys. They've traveled for sure. But yeah, don't get me wrong. I'd love to see right now the top WAL guys versus some of the top guys in the world and see how they handle. But to be determined. I know Paul Talbot's going to WAF this year, and I think Jeff Hale's going as well. So they're going to be at the WAF Championships this year in Rumia. And where's the championships this year? I forget. They moved it. But yeah, so watch that. That's coming up this month, at the end of this month. Okay, moving forward. There's a video posted of Zloty Arm Wrestling World Cup 2009. Yeah, those are all fantastic matches. You guys watch any of the Zloty Tour tournaments, the guys in the yellow shirts, and that's all the top dogs in the world. The number one guys, not just from each country, but just the number one guys in their weight classes all meet up. Non-drug tested, just strongest, craziest dudes you've seen all go to Zloty Tour every year for one open tournament. And so yeah, since I got into it, that's like been the top level professional tournament to kind of be at. Moving forward, NNQ2603 posted Alex Top Roll got his hacked YouTube channel, or got back his hacked YouTube channel. Yes, Arm Wrestling TV is back, you guys. I saw Alex over at Mississippi States. He got his channel back. Check him out. Everything he's posting is him. He's all the way back, 100%. So great channel, great dude. Definitely make sure you subscribe if you're not already. But pretty much everybody is. I think he might be the biggest channel in arm wrestling, or one of the biggest channels on YouTube for arm wrestling. I'm not sure. I think he's number one. Anyway, after that, posted by Top Roll King. Title is Black Dude Smashes White Guy While Wearing Confederate Flag. People reported it to me. It said race baiting and clickbait should have been about two highly skilled competitors, not about race. That's the user report I got. Anyway, it's a video of Herman Stevens versus Sean Hancock in a left-handed super match they had at Mississippi State. Artem posted it, you guys. Artem Top Roll. He's just trolling you guys. He's just messing with you. He's the one that made the video, and he's just trying to get a rise out of you guys. He actually messaged me after he posted it just to see how you guys were going to react. Don't fall for his stupid shit. He's just being an idiot. But to that super match, that was a great match, man. I was there watching in the crowd. Herman Stevens and Sean Hancock. I didn't know how strong Sean was, and I don't think Herman thought Sean was going to be that strong either. Sean really took Herman to the limits in the first few rounds, and it was really close. It definitely was not a breeze by any means. And then, I believe, was it 4-2 or 5-1? Sean won the last two after it had already been decided. But yeah, I mean, Sean was strong. Definitely taking Herman to his limits left-handed. Because Herman's a bad dude right and left-handed, right? So he had a super match right-handed and a super match left-handed that day. Moving forward. Oh, man. Posted by Petty Box. Bart Wood thinks Larrett and Ciliaris are the most difficult pullers to keep in check while reffing. This was a interview, I believe, that Paul Lynn and Sam Harris did with Bart Wood on their podcast channel or whatever. Yeah. Definitely, I can understand that completely. Larrett and Ciliaris are for sure. Those are guys in the setup that know every trick and search for every single advantage. So when you're reffing them, they're doing everything in their tool bag to try to find an advantage and climb on someone or slide their elbow forward or load up or chest them off center when they're setting up. Like they're doing every trick in the book to try to gain an advantage, and they play the game. They play the game really well in the setup. And so yeah, it's super frustrating. I can only imagine trying to ref them. That's why he's so rough on Devin. Everybody thinks he hates Devin, but Devin knows why he's so rough on him, because Devin pushes the limits as far as rules and reffing. He really makes the refs work to try to keep everything fair. But that's kind of the name of the game for arm wrestling, you know? Okay, next video posted by Rodental, VOA Side Pressure 1 Rep Max. That's Voice of Arm Wrestling YouTube channel. Giannis Amalins and Coach Ray and them. They're testing their side pressure maxes against Todd Hutchings and Ryan Bowen's maxes. Yeah, a lot of people are doing these side press maxes videos. Interesting. You know, I kind of thinking about maybe I should do one time, test my side pressure. I wonder where it's at. Dangerous, you guys. For the new guys testing that out, be careful. Keep everything squared up. That's really easy to hurt yourself that way. These guys are all pros that are doing it for the most part. Moving forward, posted by Rodental, Levon versus Badulescu. Okay, so this is a match that Sabin Badulescu posted where he was at, I forget which tournament it was. It might have been Zloty Tour, I forget, but he goes against Levon Saginashvili, who's number 1 in the world right now. He goes against Levon, and there's a false start or something happens, but Sabin's a very excited arm wrestler, very aggressive, very in your face, and he was all hyped up, and Levon, there was like a false start, or they stopped for a reason, and Sabin stopped pulling, and Levon just side pressure the way I would arm wrestle like a little kid, just hit him to the side real quick without even moving his body and just pinned him. It looked ridiculous. And so everybody started laughing, and they actually gave the win to Levon. Everybody's laughing at how easily he beat Sabin, but Sabin wasn't really arm wrestling. He had given up, you know. So anyway, fast forward, I forget, a few months or a year or whatever, and they see each other at the World Championships in Budapest. I was there watching this match, and Sabin hit the right angle. He rolled out Levon's hand. Levon couldn't pin him, and then eventually Sabin pinned him, and Sabin loses his mind and screaming and going crazy on the stage, and everybody's trying to calm him down. I remember he got off the stage and he was losing it because he beat Levon, and yeah. So I don't know what he ended up placing that year, but I still think Levon ended up placing better, but yeah, he got that win on him, so that was really cool. Moving forward, posted by Turkish Jade 89, Jody Larrett. Why did Jody stop arm wrestling? You know what? I'm trying to remember. I heard Jody arm wrestled for a long time. She knows a lot. I know she's very active in the team and helping the team train people. I can't remember exactly why she stopped arm wrestling. Somebody told me, or I heard it. It wasn't an injury. Was it an injury? Oh, man, I wish I had the exact reason. But I do wish Jody was still arm wrestling. It was awesome when she was pulling a lot. And but now we get to see her on the sidelines screaming like a crazy person for Devin. So I really enjoy Jody. She's awesome. Moving forward, posted by the Latvian Wonder, 100 kg back pressure with one hand. So this is, the name. I always forget his name. Sorry, man. He's Latvian arm wrestler. I can't remember his name right now. But anyway, he's doing rows with 100 kg rows. He gets up to 100 kg. I think he ended up failing on 100 kg and was working out with 90 kg, which is it's times 2.2. So whatever pound times 2.2, or kg times 2.2 is pounds. So it's 200 and some odd pounds. It's a lot of weight, basically, is the moral of the story. And he's rowing it. So crazy amount of back pressure, for sure. This dude is a top tier arm wrestler, and mad respect for anybody that can row that much. I really want to go try that and see where I'm at. Moving forward, posted by Rodental, Bajent versus Larrett right-handed. This is at the UAL Backyard Brawl. This is an old match between Devin Larrett and Travis Bajent. This was the first time I ever arm wrestled this tournament. I was here. I was in the crowd. And it was in Southern California when the UAL was really starting to blow up. And they had their matches over here. Did Devin win both of them? Or did Devin win right-handed and Travis won left-handed? I forget. But I'm pretty sure Devin won right-handed. That was an amazing match. It's when I first met them. I didn't know really who Devin Larrett was at that point. And then I remember my dad grabbed Travis out of the crowd and said, my dad was watching me arm wrestle for my first time. I'd never been to a practice or anything. And my dad grabbed Travis and said, hey Travis, this is my boy. My boy right here. He's going to beat you, man. My boy here wants to beat you, because that's who I wanted to beat when I got in the sport. And I remember Travis said, this your boy right here? He said, your boy is 10 years too late to beat me. He ain't no chance in hell he's beating me. And he walked off. I'll never forget that. Fucking Travis. So Yeah, that was my first tournament. It's a good match, man. Always watching these guys because Travis knows just as many cheats as Devin. So watching these guys arm wrestle, once you're really in the sport and you can really comprehend what they're doing on the stage and what advantages they're looking for. I love watching these guys arm wrestle. The referee, it seems like the worst job ever. And by the way, if you guys ever want to watch a video of probably the worst match to ever referee, watch a super match between Jerry Caderet and Travis Bagent where they arm wrestled for was it $5,000 or some significant amount of money. It was a match set up between them two years ago, and it is the most insanely crazy match ever. That Jerry ended up winning, and I believe he got like a pool table or something built with Travis's name on it at his house. But it was a crazy match, and they're screaming at the refs, and everybody's screaming in the whole room, and it's just wild. It was a fucking circus. I couldn't imagine watching that match. But yeah, go look that up, guys. Watch an old match between Jerry and Travis. It's wild. It's a wild super match. Okay, so moving forward, this guy's talking about Ryan Espy and Richard Lupkes. We'll get there. Posted by Body Language 137, a WAL shirt to Romania. I'm trying to find a site where I can get WAL t-shirt and deliver it to Romania. Does anyone know a place where I can buy one? I struggled to find it. I've never tried to buy a WAL shirt online. I don't know. I assume trying their website. If not, then maybe eBay or seeing something like that, or just go get one made, man. Okay. Posted by posted by Toop Karcher. Tournament game plan, ? I'm going into my first tournament with a month of training. I'm not very fast at the start, and I haven't really been practicing starts. What should my game plan be? I've been told hooking isn't a great idea since it can be very draining. My hand is pretty strong, but my bicep strength is not fantastic. So, you've been doing a month of training. Now, is this training with people, with actual arm wrestlers? Is this training with your friend at home? Is this training with... Who's this training with? So, first off, you need to stay safe. This can be your first tournament. You need to keep your elbow in front of your belly button as much as possible. That's how far your elbow should be in front of your body. You need to keep your face connected to your hand, whether you win or you lose, and you need to generally pull backwards. Those are the 3 rules I teach all new people as far as safety, guys. So always elbow in front of your belly button, face connected to your hand, meaning if you lose with your hand. If you win with your hand. Your face stays connected. And then always generally have a backwards motion when you're arm wrestling at the beginning. This is all for beginners, right? So I think that you should focus on staying safe, number one, because that's going to set you way back if you get hurt. Okay, so now there's too many variables, right? You're asking if you should be hooking, you should be top rolling. It depends, man. You say your hand's pretty strong, but your bicep strength isn't fantastic. Well, top rolling in a tournament, in the long run, top rolling in the tournament is a fantastic idea. It uses minimal strength because it's more of a leverage type of move. It's faster, so you don't get in long wars. And so generally it's over one way or another pretty quick when you top roll. Either your top roll gets crushed or you roll people over pretty fast. Hooking can be a long day. If you're a hook arm wrestler, a tournament can take forever. And it puts a lot of pressure on the inside of your elbow, which will drain a lot of your strength out there, right? So, I mean, assuming, you were prevalent in all these moves, I would say top roll through a tournament. Now, I don't know, man. Maybe, I don't know the size of your hand. I don't know if you're built better for hooking. I'm not really sure. There's a lot of things that depend on. But stay safe, man. Like, for sure, it's hands down the most important thing. I would say just stay safe. Pay attention to everything. Soak up all the knowledge you can. Arm wrestle as many classes as you can so you get all the experience. But, as far as top rolling or hooking, there's a lot of different things that, can point you either way. But in general, top rolling is a better plan for tournaments, so you can move forward through the bracket without dying. Moving forward, Microwave HS posted Justin Bishop versus Ron Bath left. Might have spotted our new moderator in there too. Oh, yeah, it's the Arm Wrestling TV video of the left-handed arm wrestling at Mississippi State. I'm in there. I didn't do too hot, but there's a lot of left-handed monsters in this tournament, guys. You should definitely watch this. You'll see a lot of the top guys in the United States were at this tournament and see what people have to offer. And definitely, there was no class that was a breeze. It was all wars everywhere you look. but yeah, definitely watch all this content coming out of Mississippi State's. I know Arm Wrestling TV and Top Roll King Productions, Artem's channel. They're both releasing videos of Mississippi State. But yeah, I mean, there's just to go over each match would be crazy. So there's just an insane amount of matches, and they're all super top level stuff. But Justin Bishop versus Ron Bath left. They're talking about the overall match we had at Hooters. So we actually ran out of time. The tournament ran so long, we ran out of time at the main venue. So instead of doing the overall is basically, for you new guys listening, the overall is basically the winner, the guy who gets first place in each weight class. The heaviest guy walks up to the table, kind of like a king of the table. The heaviest guy walks up to the table, and then he goes against the next heaviest guy. So they start the match, and then whoever wins stays at the table, and they run it all the way down to the lightest guy. So by the time the lightest guy gets to arm wrestle, whoever's still on the table should be tired. So he would have his best chance against him. That's like the best system we have for finding the one single individual that wins the entire tournament, although it's still flawed. Usually the biggest guy still wins, usually. That's the best system we have right now. So, Justin Bishop and Ron Bath arm wrestle. I think there was a foul the first time. It was Robbie Burnett because, left-handed. It was, what's his name? Oh man, the guy who won left-handed super heavyweights. I can't remember his name. He goes against Ron Bath left. Ron Bath wins. And then after Ron was, it was somebody else that Ron beats. Oh, I think it was Top Roll Low. And then after that was Justin Bishop, I believe. I might have left somebody out. I'm just doing it from memory. But anyway, so Ron goes against Justin. Justin fires off into Ron's hand. Ron kind of catches him, but then Justin elbow fouls, I believe. And then the second one, Justin fires off even harder and gets outside Ron's hand a little bit, and Ron couldn't reel him back in. and then Justin pins him. So it was a good match, you know. But I've seen crazy things happen in overalls for sure. And Justin's crazy, powerful dude, you know. So it was awesome watching them arm wrestle. Moving forward, posted by Lord Gaudia. A video of Larry Wheels arm wrestling. Larry Wheels arm wrestling with one of the Indian teams. So Larry Wheels, I met him and I got him on the table. Me and Alex from Arm Wrestling TV got Larry Wheels on the arm wrestling table. Oh, was it a year and a half ago? We were randomly at the LA Fit Expo, and Larry was there doing strongman for his first strongman competition ever. And we finished the tournament, and literally the arm wrestling tournament was right next door to the strongman. So we were like shared the same wall. And so we saw Larry kind of standing around after the strongman was done, and I was telling Alex, I said, hey, man, what if we got Larry Wheels on the table? And Larry was blowing up, you know, bodybuilding, powerlifting legend, and he just got into strongman. I was like, what if we got a cool video of Larry arm wrestling? So we kind of sat around, and Country Crush, Ray Cote, was also talking to Larry. I think they were talking about maybe, you know, working out sponsorships or something with Larry, I forget. But he had access to Larry Wheels, is basically the point. And so I was talking to Ray Cote, who owns Country Crush, and I was like, hey man, it'd be really great if you could kind of introduce us or get us to Larry Wheels somehow so we could talk about getting him on the arm wrestling table, because we had an arm wrestling table available. And so eventually we did. It took some doing, but we got Larry over to the table just to show him some stuff. I mean, that's it. So Larry goes over to the table. He had just competed in his first strongman competition, so he was gassed. Don't get me wrong. We get on the table, and I forget who was first, me or Alex. I think I was the first one on the table, and I'm just going over stuff. First, obviously, safety. I don't want to be the guy to break Larry Wheels' arm and to ruin his strongman career for a while. You know what I mean? He's so famous and stuff. And so we arm wrestled, and Larry has horsepower. Obviously, the dude has strength, but when you have no idea about pronation, how to apply it, how to really, your elbows are brand new and you have all that strength, you can't really apply all that power he has, right? So when I arm wrestled him, did he have potential? Of course he does. It's fucking Larry Wheels. But he wasn't able to apply a lot of pressure on the table because he didn't know where to apply the pressure, how to, you know, pronate and supinate, and to use his bottom two fingers to hold on to people. He didn't know all that stuff, right? And it takes a while to learn. So I was just basically teaching him really simple safety tips, and then kind of a really general version of how to hook somebody and start pulling backwards and stuff like that to keep him safe. And so hopefully he could use those big muscles of his. So you see that in the video a little bit, and then eventually I held him for a minute, and he was still strong, but just, he didn't know how to pronate. There's a lot of things he didn't know. So I did that. Then Alex started pulling with him, and Alex started pinning him, and I was like, Alex, no, because he doesn't know how to lose. So you have to kind of know how to lose in arm wrestling. You have to know how to square up your shoulders so you don't break your arm. And so Alex made me really nervous pinning Larry Wheels. And then Alex's wife gets on the table, and she hauled off on Larry and pinned him twice, 2 or 3 times. She flashed him, and he's like, what? Because she was a professional arm wrestler from Russia. She still arm wrestles out here. Kazakhstan. Oh, damn it. Russia. I'm saying Russia. I forget. Yeah. Anyway, she's been arm wrestling for a long time, too. And she's an awesome, awesome arm wrestler. And so, yeah, she pinned Larry like 2 or 3 times. And then he kind of realized, to grab her low on the wrist and kind of hold her. And, yeah. So, Larry's been arm wrestling, though, since. He started arm wrestling in Dubai, I believe, where he lives, with the Indian team out there. And I'm listening to these videos, and they're teaching him some crazy stuff. I mean, it's good stuff. He's definitely going to learn. But there's no way, man. There's no way, in my opinion, that Larry's going to be able to arm wrestle at the highest level and compete in the other things he's trying to do. If you're going to want to be a top arm wrestler, that's it. That's all you can do, because that's all your elbows can really handle. You can't, in my opinion, compete at any significant level in anything else besides arm wrestling. You got to pick one. And I don't see why he would stick with arm wrestling, because there's no money or real fame in it compared to what else he's competing in, right? Bodybuilding and strongman and stuff. So I hope he sticks with arm wrestling, but I just figure this is going to kill his elbows, and he'll realize it sooner or later, But Larry, I hope you stick with arm wrestling. Hope you don't get hurt if you somehow listen to this podcast. And keep moving forward, man. If you're ever in Southern California, I'd love to work with you. Okay, moving forward. Posted by Top Roll King. More videos of the super heavyweights, right-handed at Mississippi State's. In the video, in the cover, in the clip, you see Robbie Burnett and Mike Aiello pulling, because Mike Aiello is everywhere, and Robbie is a monster. And Robbie ended up winning got first place in that tournament. So I lost to Mike Aiello first round. The moment Mike got on his press, I gave up. Screw that. I'm not gonna fucking try to pull through that. So, but no, it was a great tournament, dude. Right-handed was just as fantastic as left-handed. You guys get some time, watch those Mississippi State tournament videos. They're awesome. Great tournament. Moving forward after that, posted by MHTKMREAUG. I can't Murag. It's a video from Wagner, a little about the fight with Devin Larratt, subtitled in English. Wagner Bortolato, WAL 506. So we're still in the 506 thing. Basically, it's Wagner talking about kind of what happened, that he didn't sleep very much, and he needed to tighten up his game. And he says he's not making excuses. Devin won fair and square, but next time he wants to make sure he sleeps right, eats right, etc., etc. Wagner's super nice dude, super good dude. Moving forward, Kirizaki posted, anyone tried massage gun? Our Latvian champs talked about this massage gun here. Has anybody tried it? And there's a video of them talking about massage guns. Dude, massage guns are great. I definitely good for the big muscle groups and stuff like that. I get really weird around my elbow, around people working on my elbow or massaging it. I've made that mistake. And I don't really like people getting into my elbow anywhere. But yeah, as far as my big muscle groups, hell yeah, dude. Massage guns seem awesome for breaking up scar tissue, moving the blood around, getting the lactic acid out, all that type of stuff. So yeah, awesome. Okay, here's one posted by Min Hale. Pursuing arm wrestling as a hobby? I was watching the Arm Wrestling Secrets series on YouTube by Tim Rabatoy, a retired Hawaiian pro arm wrestler with a career of over 20 years. This is the comment he made, a bit long, but very fascinating and worth a read. He strongly advises that unless you plan to go pro, it's just not worth it to practice arm wrestling at all due to the high risk of injuries. He has a strong, either go all in or don't bother at all attitude. In fact, I get the feeling that he's actively discouraging people from taking part in the sport, even though he's obviously extremely passionate about it. What do you guys think about Tim's advice? I disagree with Tim, so say that much. You don't have to, and this is something I came to terms with on my team. Not everybody wants to get into arm wrestling to be the best ever in the world, ever in the universe, right? And I had, that's my goal, but that's not everybody else's goal, and that's okay. Some people get in the sport because they like competing. Some people get in the sport because they want a hobby. Some people get in the sport just because they like the act of arm wrestling. They're not into training and stuff too much. There's a million different reasons people can be in the sport. Now, for him to assume that, that they're going to be too injured to do anything else in their life and to discourage them, I don't agree with. He is telling the truth as far as there is a high risk of injuries. Your range of motion is going to suck eventually. Your blood flow can be affected. You can have bad arthritis and stuff, maybe later in life. So there's definitely things. You could break your arm. You could detach a bicep tendon or another different kind of tendon. There's things that could happen for sure. They happen a lot if you're not smart about it. But I love arm wrestling. I love the community. I love everything that has to do with, and I have since I've got into the sport. And so would I tell people not to get into it? No, not at all. I think it's fantastic, man. The camaraderie of being on a team and traveling around and meeting all these badass arm wrestlers and learning the new techniques and how to train and how to get stronger and having fun, man. Flying around and doing the whole arm wrestling thing is awesome. I don't regret it at all. I have memories in my head of all the things I've done and places I've gone and things I've done for arm wrestling, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. I wouldn't trade it at all. I've been in Vegas and I've been in Reno and gotten drunk with Todd Hutchings and John Brzenk and walked around and watched them arm wrestle each other 400 times on little dinner tables. I've flown to Budapest and I've sat on the banks of the rivers and stuff and hung out with arm wrestlers. I've done everything, man. I've been to Arnold's and I don't know. I have too many memories. I can't even bring them all up. There's a million. So would I trade those? No, not for anything. So I think the journey is amazing. Whether I reach my goal or not, I definitely don't regret doing arm wrestling whatsoever. So I love the sport, and I hope other people keep getting into it and seeing what I see in it. Okay, moving forward, TSM fan for life, training the flop wrist press. Is there any specific way of training a flop wrist press? I know it's a dangerous move to use, but I'm intrigued by it and I'm interested in employing it in my future matches. Oh man. Well, we were talking about the flop wrist press earlier. Just stay tight, man. So I guess you would utilize your chest to make sure you keep your elbow and everything inside your body, like closer, as close to your belly button as you can get. So that's going to be chest. The ability to slide your elbow around on an arm wrestling table is your chest to bring your elbow in, right? So use like a flying motion, triceps, shoulders to keep your arm inside your body as well. So your rotator, and then triceps, I guess you'd say, just in general, shoulder stability, with chest involved and some triceps. I mean, those are the things you'd really want to work out as far as training that. Now, as far as being on the table, I mean, the more you do something, the better you'll get at it, So, almost there, guys. It's coming up. We're already over an hour here. Moving forward, tube karcher. How long do you guys take off before competition? That answer is different for everybody. I'll lift heavy up to a week before, and then I'll stop. So like on Friday, then that weekend I will not arm wrestle. Normally I arm wrestle on the weekends, so I won't arm wrestle for 2 weeks. I'll lift heavy up to a week before, and then I will maybe do like 5 or 6 days before. Maybe I'll do some light work to get some blood moving. But this all depends on the person, because it depends on how fast you heal, how much muscle mass you have, how experienced you are, there's so many, your age, your hydration levels, your everything. There's so many things this depends on, right? So you have to. This is one of the things. This is why tournament experience is so vital. You guys, you have to go to tournaments ASAP. That's why I'm a big believer in tournaments above all else. Practices are great. That's all great. Tournaments above all else. Learn how to not break your arm and then start going to tournaments. Arm wrestle as many classes as you can. Go to as many tournaments as you can possibly go to. Because you need to learn how long you need to take off from the gym. You need to learn how much sleep you need. You need to learn about your hydration. You need to learn about, how your muscles work and how fast your elbows heal. Because everybody has different things going on, guys. And tournament experience is so hard to come by compared to practice and arm wrestling experience. And tournament experience can make the biggest difference, right? Going to a tournament and feeling confident on stage and knowing how to perform and how to deal with your nerves and how to deal with the referees and the screaming and everything, that's hard to figure out. It takes a long time. Start getting your tournament experience ASAP, right? So when it comes to that, you gotta dial it in, man. How long you take off for a competition, you gotta dial it in. That's each person has a different answer for that. Going forward, posted by Saskatchewan. Ryan Espy versus Richard Lepke's super match in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan at Battle of the Prairies, October 5th, 2019. Richard won their previous bout in Vegas. Ryan would love revenge. It's a super match that just happened yesterday between Ryan Espy and Richard Lepke's. Pretty sure Ryan ended up winning 3-2. Ryan's big right now, and it's awesome because Richard's a huge dude, and so it's interesting seeing them arm wrestle with each other. Richard has like a really not complicated move where he just basically grips and goes to the side. I watched most of the super match, and Ryan was able to roll out of his hand and even went inside once or twice into like a press. So I was interesting seeing them arm wrestle for sure. It was nice to see Richard. I haven't seen him in a while arm wrestling. I didn't know if he was still going to compete. So it's good to see him on the table for sure. Dude's a giant. Nicest guy in the world. I'm telling you, it's crazy. Okay, moving forward. Random Dust Bunny posted, is anyone familiar with the ongoings of WAF versus IFA? Basically, that's the stuff I just talked about, guys. That's as much as I know. And I'm sure there's a lot. I stopped kind of following it as soon as I got the gist of it, of what was going on. So now it's just a matter of, where's everything going to end up? Is it going to end up at WF or IFA? I don't know. I feel like it's just time will tell. And so I'm just sitting back and kind of watching the countries go back and forth and make decisions about who they want to go with and all this stuff. And so we'll see. We'll see where everybody ends up at. That means all you can do is sit back and watch and wait as those guys fight for arm wrestlers. Moving forward, Totoro. That's the guy's name. Posted a video. Looks like Saplenkov lost a considerable amount of weight. It's a video of Georgy. I can't think of his last name. The tall, skinny arm wrestler from Russia, arm wrestling against, practicing with Denis Saplenkov. And Denis lost a lot of weight because he's been sick, which I talked about earlier. And we're finally up to the last post. Posted by Evil Cheater. Sit down versus stand up technique. Going to a sit down tournament for the first time next month. Will be my second tournament ever. As the stand up one I went to, I got crushed, winning only one match in the amateur category. How does a sit down setup change things? I feel like it would favor those with more weight in the upper body, but that could just be baloney. I have never done a sit down tournament. I've done sit down with my buddies, messed around at practice and stuff like that. We've messed around with that a little bit, but I'm definitely not an authority on sit down arm wrestling. We'll establish that. As far as I know, so it takes a lot of leaning out of it, right? So you can't bend your knees. So posting backwards and stuff, you don't have a lot of leverage as much. And so just the way you're able to throw your body around is limited. So old school arm wrestling, as far as just side pressure, that arm wrestling you'd see on our dinner table, it's a lot closer to that because your body's not moving around. You're not allowed to stand up, or I think your butt has to stay on the seat at all times, or it's a foul if you come up, I believe. So yeah, it's just it goes back to a lot of rotator work, a lot of chest, and just like a lot of side pressure, and I guess people would say it's more arm wrestling. Not your body's not engaged as much because you can't really stand up or put your body behind the arm too much. That's all from an outside perspective. So take it for what it is. All right, guys, so that's been an hour and 8 minutes of me talking about arm wrestling. There's so many things I want to talk to you guys about, and I've spent, almost 10 years now dedicating my life to arm wrestling and just doing nothing but research and learning from the best. And so all this information I've gathered, I just really want to help you guys out as much as I can, especially the new guys and the new fans of arm wrestling, and share what I got with you guys. And I could talk for 15 hours about arm wrestling. So I got to go get my ass to the gym and start getting stronger for the Arnolds and what's coming up. If you guys ever have any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, feel free to hit me up, shoot me a message. Somebody talked about me going over the entire podcast and kind of laying it out for each podcast, like what I talked about at what time. That's a lot of work. I'll do a brief overview in the descriptions of kind of what I talk about, but I mean, yeah, guys, I'm not gonna sit there and break down every single thing. This is gonna be a really simple podcast, just kind of answering questions and going over the topics on Reddit. Sorry, And so you guys can also find this on SoundCloud. I give this to my buddy Luis. He posts this on his SoundCloud account because he has a World of Strength and Power podcast he does on SoundCloud, and so I'm under his umbrella as far as on SoundCloud. So you guys can go over there and find it and listen to it on SoundCloud, or I also post it on my YouTube channel. So if you guys want to listen to it on YouTube, I do this audio only, so that way you guys can go do stuff, man. Go hit the gym. Maybe you're listening to me while you're on the treadmill or doing some kind of cardio. I even do cardio, man. Arm wrestlers, you gotta do a little bit of cardio so your muscles can breathe. But also, or driving or working or whatever you guys do, man. That's why I like to do this audio only. Hopefully you guys get a blast listening to it, and we have many more to come. All right, guys. Train hard. Love arm wrestling, as Coach Ray would say. And, be bold about all this stuff. Don't be scared. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Peace.